Hey, and welcome back to another live stream here with Chad and Liam and our special guest, Felipe, who is also the artist working on Silver Sparrow. And we're just going to do another live drawing stream. How is everybody today?
I'm good. I'm wearing orange, so everything's fine in Orangeville.
Nice. You're not going to get shot by a deer hunter today.
No. So I'm hanging out with the Tardigrade Press team. I'm my own thing, but we're definitely cool with Tardigrade Press in my house.
Yeah, we're all working. We're all working towards that recognition of branding and just building a community.
What's up, Alan? Alan's in the chat there. If you want to drop in, Alan, you're more than welcome. We can send you an invite.
Oh, is Alan in the chat?
Yeah.
I'm looking at I'm trying to get the chats going here. Oh, is there already a comment here?
I'm watching it. I got it. I got your back, bro.
Sweet. Too many buttons to click.
Yeah. So it looks like we got a theme going on with the artwork. So Felipe is working on a drawing of, is that Boba Fett or the Mandalorian? Because I can't tell.
It's Boba Fett.
It's Boba Fett. Yeah. So today is the premiere of the show. Is it on Disney Plus or is it on Netflix as well?
I think it's just Disney Plus.
Yeah. See, I don't watch Disney Plus. Whatever. They can shove it. I'm not getting another subscription.
No more subscriptions.
None. I'm like this close to just losing Netflix. But the problem is if I only go with something like Tubi, which is free, it's like Van Damme movies and some really chintzy modern stuff that I just can't get behind. At least on Netflix, I have some Stallone movies to watch, which is good.
Only Van Damme can make the splits look cool as a dance move,
Kickboxer. Yeah. He was drunk in Thailand.
That was the greatest dance choreography ever.
Those movies, those Van Damme movies, they were B movies when they came out, and they were the best B movies ever. Like any Van Damme movie and Roadhouse, they were my jam as a kid. They were so good. I've watched Roadhouse like a bunch of times over, but I still don't get the same kind of joy that I get from watching like Kickboxer or any one of those like fighting Van Damme movies where he goes on the training, he gets beat up and then he trains and then he goes and beats the big bad guy.
Nice.
It's the best. It's the best.
That's the way it always went, right?
Kickboxer and Bloodsport. Those were the two.
The hero's journey,
exactly.
Hero's kind
it's
of
all about the hero's journey, man. Solid. Yeah. If you do away with the hero's journey in any kind of comic book action thing, you're screwing up. Nothing can be pure rosy and nothing can be pure problems either. You have to have like a good mix. Alan's saying he'll be back. All right, cool, bro.
Yeah, I sent him a link on Instagram.
Perfect.
So that is gone and away. So I guess too, what we can do is talk a little bit about, I guess, the hero's journey and Felipe's journey to being an artist, his artistic journey.
So what is this project you guys are working on? Silver Sparrow, yeah? That's what it's called?
Yeah.
I can give you a little bit of feedback. Silver Sparrow is another character in the biological origin stories. And the character was basically started off as a very simplistic character, but over the years, I first came up with the character in about 2001. And it's gone through some changes, some adaptation.
2001.
Yeah.
Do you have any pictures handy? Can you dig any up?
I do have the original Silver Sparrow thing that I created, or Silver Sparrow. Yeah. Cool. It's in the closet, but I'd have to go digging.
No, I don't want you to go to the work.
No, it was in a kind of like a different rated dark humor. I don't know what you would classify it as. Kind of satire. An old
satire.
Story. Yeah.
Okay.
An old story called we'll just leave this out of the whole conversation right now.
Okay. So what's Silver Sparrow about?
Silver Sparrow is about basically a girl coming of age and basically becoming a superhero and taking charge and going through trials and tribulations of life. And it'll be pretty interesting too, because there's so many elements that are all coming together in the biologicals. Like ideally what I would like is the Silver Sparrow to be the first biologicals storyline, even though it's an origin story for the Silver Sparrow. It's going to be the biological origin story, because there's going to be a whole bunch of characters that are coming together very shortly. Should be pretty interesting. I just got to get working on that side. I know the Sasquatch stuff is taking a lot of time and a lot of attention right now for launching.
So the Sasquatch Vikings, that's your Kickstarter that's starting in a couple of days, yeah?
Once again, I don't have my red light on. Sorry.
Oh, the family?
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to have that on air sign outside your door.
Sure. What was that? You asked a
Good
question.
times.
I completely missed it.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say your Kickstarter starting in 3 days, right? And that's the Sasquatch Vikings that's launching.
Yeah. Leah is the writer. Here, I can bring you up the stuff here.
For Silver Sparrow?
She is the writer. I'm having a brain fart for what her last name is here. Why am I having a brain fart? But I told her that we would be connecting shortly. Carl's letter, or Carl's. Oh man, why do I always kill last names?
It's okay.
Here, you can help pronounce this. I'll post it. This is the writer. I put it in the.
Oh, that's like some kind of German name. Karlstetter. Karlstetter? Karlstetter. Karlstetter.
That sounds more correct than my pronunciation of it.
I don't know. I'm not. I have some German blood, but I don't speak it. Carlsberg. That's about the extent of my German.
That's right. Andrew Tong. He lives in Germany.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's basically kind of a general outline of the Silver Sparrow story. I could, in theory, show you some images of the Silver Sparrow.
Yes, that would be great. Let's do that. I'm going to try messing with some of our layouts here. Oh, it looks like I can't. Oh, yes, I can. That's me. Hello, me.
So it's gone through some different development phases of the character itself. And here, I'll share you a screen here.
Cool.
And while we're talking about the Silver Sparrow, Felipe is just going to keep on trucking away here.
Yeah.
Share screen.
John, that Boba Fett. Nice mechanical pencil there.
Oh, it looks good and sharp.
Thanks.
So this is the first sketch after my initial sketch. And she has kind of like a biogenetic suit that helps obviously enhance her. Uses their culture is far more advanced. Like they're thousands or hundreds of thousands of years ahead of where we are on Earth today. So their technology is a little bit advanced in retrospect, right? So their ability to understand and use like 0-point gravity and energy and so on and so forth is a little bit more advanced. Are you cool if I share some of your pages, Alan?
I think he's stepped out.
Or Felipe? Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm having a brain fart here. Alan's the anchor on this project. He is not the penciler. Felipe is the penciler.
Right.
Hence my brain fart. My apologies, sir.
That's fine.
This
Looks
was
like Alan's okay with it too. So
this was another concept for the Silver Sparrow here.
Oh, that's more like wow, like a bird suit, eh? Cool. Like literally.
But I wanted to break away from more of the bird helmet. But in the newest concept, there is more of a bird helmet to it as well. And this one was supposed to be kind of more of like a preliminary kind of suit where she's not actually physically wearing her mask.
I am partial to the flowy hair.
Yeah, I like the flowy hair, but this is kind of my like Felipe was like, okay, like what were you thinking for the updated suit and stuff like that? And this was my kind of sketch for the updated suit. So
Yeah, you're going to the Hawkeye kind of helmet-ish.
yeah, just a little bit longer, bigger eye, little point sticking out, but then with more of a sparrow type wing opposed to like even a hawk wing. So, but the character itself is going to look exponentially different when she's rendered because she's going to be completely silver. But she'll have that ability to cloak and do other things as well. So, or just reflect light, right? Almost kind of blend like
Cool.
stealth. So these were just kind of concept drawings.
So this has been in the works for like 20 years, this character of yours.
Yeah, I could actually show you the very first drawing of the Silver Sparrow ever. I don't even know if it's in there, but I can show you the original biologicals drawing of the Silver Sparrow. Let's see here. Where am I looking? Is she in here? Yeah, I had this drawing, but I thought she looked too much like that girl from He-Man. Like, what's the one mystic? She's like an eagle or whatever.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't watched He-Man since I was a kid.
But this was the first concept or drawing that I drew. And this is part of the biologicals team.
That's a solid looking Sasquatch.
Thanks,
I
man.
like that.
Yeah. You got the Sasquatch, then you have Solera, you have Lacewing, you have this cat character, and Neutron Star, and also a recluse, like a spider species that we're going to bring in as well that have like 6 arms and 2 legs, you know.
They're right on. Got some Mortal Kombat action happening there.
Yeah, for sure. But these are concepts, right? And then you get into some of the biological concepts where, well, here you can see some colored versions of my concepts for biologicals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you get
Nicely
Neutron
done.
Star.
I haven't seen these before.
No?
Hey, zoom in on that. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get like Neutron Star up here, and then this cat character, and then the Lacewing character as well. And then once again, you have my original concept, and so on and so forth. So there's just been a lot of playing around in concept and developing and working on things like that. Here you have, I'm trying to zoom in on the wrong screen. So you have this character as well, which is another character that I was thinking for the spider character, almost like a Doc Ock kind of.
Totally.
They were tracked back to his shoulders, but this is another development of the same character. And then this is also Lacewing as well.
More like a moth. Like that's definitely more moth-like.
Yeah, I was thinking of having a stage in the character's development where he actually can take flight, but I thought the wings might be a little bit too hokey.
Oh, is he space bound or does he only fly in an atmosphere?
He is space bound for sure.
Yeah, so wings wouldn't be necessary unless they're just to look cool or something.
Yeah, and you do get the newer. I can show you the. Well, Lacewing's this character right here.
Yeah.
So this was his drawing that was done by Esquivo, Gabe, and Alan was the one that inked this one. So, and then I did the coloring for this one. But I'm looking forward to this series as well because I think it will complement all the series together. Should be pretty good. But let's start showing off some of Felipe's work here. Where is Silver Sparrow? There's so many folders. So many folders. All right. Is there a page that you're certainly fond of? I really like
that would be a no.
Just probably do like page 3.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Page 3?
Let's do page 3.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll open page 3. That's the punching one, isn't it? Oh, yeah.
Maybe it was page 4 that I was thinking of. I mean, that one works too, but I was thinking of the next one.
So you get this one too, and you have your character in the background here up on the, and then they're the kind of like the police of this world that they live in. They're kind of harassing people.
They're like bad police. They look kind of like the Judge Dredd characters.
That's exactly
that's what we're going for.
That was like, I want to make them look like judges.
So this is the page.
This is a pretty good action sequence right here, right? Where she's launching through. And right now, her suit doesn't really have the wing settings. It's just kind of like her and Junko are designing and developing
fire and energy
suit. Well, it uses an energy source, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be fire. We're just using an energy field to portray that, she's using some sort of energy to fly through the air, right? So, but with, these are some of the earlier pages and stuff. And I can even see, that Felipe's work is getting better and better as he's going from panel to panel and from page to page as well. So no,
that's the whole thing about indie comics, man. It's an area for you to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And
you
also
get to collaborate and explore your ideas, get better at the craft.
Yeah.
Right.
And also it helps push us into those comfort zones, or pushes out of those comfort zones, forcing us to think maybe a little bit more about perspective when we didn't think very much about perspective before, right?
Oh, so much so. Yeah.
I'm running into that scenario right now. But I think, though, as you get in, like, I like this, like the spread page.
Oh, cool. Look at that. That's some good design. Hey, she looks pretty too. Nice face on that girl.
Yeah, it's great.
Nice.
So you have, it's kind of like a time capsule, or showing memories and her memories with her father and stuff. And then her and Junko, as they're sitting there developing the new tech for the suit, and just some memories that are going to tie into some of the other storylines and plots as well. I think that's a great spread, and I think this page is awesome. So I think it'll look great when it's all inked up and all colored up with all the dialogue and everything else in there. So
Yeah, good times. So that's like the computer screen with the helmet, and it looks like I can see like information and stuff on it. That's going to be a cool little effects. Like your whoever's coloring. I assume you're going to be coloring that, Chad.
yeah, I will be
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun to do that.
for sure.
Yeah,
I like
coloring this is
coloring.
going to be hoot.
And Alan will be inking the book. So
Right
I'm
on.
really excited to see what the final product looks like.
Right?
it'll
Group
be
effort.
awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be really awesome, Felipe, is when you have one of the final books in your hands.
Oh yeah.
That's the greatest reward. Liam hasn't held that trophy yet, but he'll
Not yet.
Not
yet. I'm taking all kinds of little rewards as I go along, doing my first little comic. It's only 6 pages, but it's all mine from script to colors, and I've done like the lettering and everything. And it's a lot to learn, but it's kind of its own reward, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Here, let's see.
It's kind of surreal when you actually hold it in your hand for the first time.
I can't wait. It's going to be so cool.
What other pages? Sorry, they're just so tiny I can hardly see what I'm looking at here. I like this page too. I think this page is cool. There's lots of cool pages. I think you've done like a really good job. So
Thanks.
yeah, just the design of the pages, the setups and stuff like that. You know, where you can see, you know, a little bit of the wing development and the suit and what's happening as well.
Hey,
so,
that's like an Archangel style wing. I like that.
yeah, with the
Nice.
sharper looking blades on the.
Yeah.
But just kind of like the Iron Man suits, I'm sure she'll have many iterations of the suit.
Right.
Suits that can do different things. Because she's not super, she's just super smart.
There's a lot of good stuff happening here. A lot of good stuff.
Oh, for sure. I think when you start blocking in some of the shadows and bringing in other things like that, it can really draw some things around. But I don't even know if it needs that right now because the colors are going to come into it anyways, right?
Well, when you do the coloring, you're going to work on the shadows there. Like the pencils don't have to show the shadows.
No, and I like to do shadow work as well, right, when I color.
For sure, yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah, those are some good pages, man. Felipe, nice work.
Yeah, they are great.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. You're in Wisconsin. So how old are you? Why do you draw comic books?
Well, I'm 23, and honestly, I just have a lot of fun drawing this kind of stuff. Yeah,
did you go to art school?
Kind of. I went to school for graphic design, so like I didn't really learn a lot of this stuff during school, but yeah, I did kind of go to an art school. Yeah.
Nice.
Was it a school in Wisconsin?
Yep. And it was just one of the state schools, but still worked.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm a big fan of state schools and schools that don't cost a lot of money. Maximum bang for the buck.
Yep.
So you took graphic design. Did you work in graphic design at all? Or is that where you work at a day job, or do you do this full time?
No, I just have a basic manufacturing job right now. And I kind of do this on the side.
Yeah, I drive a bus. So I understand.
Yeah, ideally I can get to a point where I can do this kind of stuff at least almost full time, but
that'll be good.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. So do you spend like every waking minute drawing, or how do you keep the balance? Is there any balance to your life?
And I try my best to draw as much as I can. There are definitely times where I just don't have the energy to do so, which I know is something I have to like learn how to fight. But when I can actually muster up the energy, I try at least like do some sketches, at least plan out some drawings at the very least.
Yeah. Do you find that working in a job that doesn't require you to be in front of a computer or like doing art the whole day kind of gives you a little bit more of a margin for actually drawing? Because that's what I found. Like, because my job in my day job, I made it a point to not do something artistic. I didn't want to go into graphic design. I wanted to do something that left my mind free so that I could create afterwards with a lot of energy, and it seems to have worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do now. And graphic design did seem like a really good idea as like a. I guess I really shouldn't say that should be the backup plan, but it kind of is right now.
Yeah, that's normal.
Right
I don't
now,
think there's any shame in that. You'd be surprised how many like comic pros, artists, just in general, do it part time, and they're still really good.
Mhm.
Right?
Sure.
I think it's a pretty wise, prudent decision. I mean, just statistically, not everyone can be a full-time superstar artist. Like, there's only so much out there, and there's only so many Spider-Mans and Batmans. You know?
Yeah.
That's why you create your own.
Yeah, yeah.
Create
How do you
your own
market
genre,
this?
build your own
Yeah.
audience,
Yeah.
and build your own market. There's enough space for all of us.
Yeah, that is something I really want to do, is do my best to kind of stay in the indie game. Like, I know it's not going to bring a lot of money, but I feel like that's where most of the fun
Well,
is.
do you know that? Hold on, let me push back on that. You don't know that. You don't know that.
Okay, I guess I
It
don't
takes a
know
lot
that
of
for
effort,
sure.
right? But it's like, yeah, man. I think the more you work at it, the more you, believe in yourself and what you're doing, and the more you invite success. You know, I think like it's not going to come to you if you're not doing it, right?
Yeah, I think he's got what it takes. I saw a lot of potential in what he was turning over on Instagram and stuff. And with work and tuning, I think you're gonna go far if you stick to it, man.
For
Thanks.
sure. So what do you like about the comic book art, as opposed to like say doing something else like paintings or book illustration?
Personally, it's just the way that the inks are always laid out. Like, I can't really pinpoint what exactly it is about them, but just looking at a straight up black and white ink drawing, seeing all the different ways that people render and spot the blacks, I just find that particularly eye-catching.
I'm with you on that. So I'm 46, and I grew up reading. My first comic book, I think, was when I was 11 years old, and it was an X-Men comic, penciled by Mark Silvestri and inked by Dan Green. And when I opened it up and saw it, it was like first-rate art. Like, these are serious artists, right? Who have spent their whole life doing it. Like Dan Green inked all the originals. He did Jack Kirby. He did Steve Ditko. All those guys, right? And now all of a sudden he's inking Mark Silvestri, who's like at the top of his game. Like, he's been at the top of his game since he started, for crying out loud. Like, who does that? But yeah, man, black and white art, that whole, like, I call it a graphic quality. I think that I learned that term in art school. There's this art school term, graphic quality. It just means something that's really print friendly, I think. Right?
For sure.
Yeah.
It's something that also stretches outside of the typical realistic realm of light and shadow too, right? Where you're taking design elements and design features, even though they physically don't make sense in the physical world, you make them make sense graphically.
So you're because it's like, that's kind of the essence of what art is. Like, drawing and painting, it has, for 500 years been about creating the illusion of depth, right? And it's all about illusions, right?
Yeah. Well,
so
look at Kirby, right? Like look at Jack Kirby and stuff. Like he's so far beyond being like something that's like realistic. It's so exaggerated and so fantastical.
Yeah. I love so with the ink drawings, like, you can do cross hatching, you can do different kinds of renderings, you can leave it to the colorist to do some modeling or whatever. But then there's also these halftone things you can use, right? And a lot of the printing technologies, especially in the 80s, before that, use these really strong halftones. So your colors would be a mix of dots of different colors, and they still do it, but it's so much smoother now, right?
Have you
And
seen those packages that they have now online that you can buy, like the vintage color packs?
Oh, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're so good. So like, just retro, juicy colors. It's so awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if you're just coloring your comic, and why does it sound like there's a jet going through my yard? But anyways, you just pick your color selections, and it already has all the, I guess it would be like a duotone, halftone, whatever, all in there already, and it just makes it look so vintage. I was actually thinking of doing that for like the newest book that I'm working on too, like the what is it? Why am I having a brain fart here?
On your own book,
Complex
Sasquatch
Dimension.
Vikings.
No Complex Dimension.
Oh, I haven't heard this one. What?
No. Well, this is the book that I'm working on right now, currently, right? So.
Oh, right, with all the giants and gods and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So.
I have seen it. I know the one.
And that one will be out sometime around April. So. And not to mention working on other projects all at the same time. So I'm having fun.
Yeah, man. I don't know how you keep your head straight. All these different projects.
I take lots of naps.
Yay, naps. So like with all these color things and technologies, to like duotones and what have you, what it reminds me of is, because I'm a fine artist. So I went to like school for painting and drawing in the fine art stream, which basically means you're going to be entrepreneurial, and it's very unlikely that you could be full-time. Like, it's just, the odds are stacked against you. Like there's way more doctors and lawyers than there are full-time fine artists in the world. You know what I mean? But there's this thing in French art called Pointillism. You guys know about Pointillism? So
Yes,
this
I
artist
do.
this artist named Seurat made this technique really famous, and that's what drove the Impressionist movement. And so it's about color contrast, where different colors interact with each other and create something else, and this sense of vibrancy and stuff. So this printing technique of duotone is like a modern version of that. I always thought that was interesting.
For sure.
Did you ever take a microscope? Did you guys ever get a microscope and put it onto a comic book?
Oh yeah.
I personally have not, no.
Oh, dude, it was so amazing.
There's so many things that you can do too with the alignment of the dots as well to create different illusions, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really like, so there's a comic artist, actually a fine artist, who took comic book work in the 60s, and his name was Lichtenstein.
Alan's really liking your the Boba Fett. He says it's looking awesome.
Right on. I'm gonna give him a star for that comment. There we
Thanks,
go.
Alan.
How do you give him stars?
I gave him a star. He deserved it.
You get 4 golden stars, Alan, and you win a prize.
So I'm a total art nerd, and I don't care. Like, I love like art history and kind of figuring things out. And that whole Impressionist period is like, it's I think it laid the foundation for a lot of like the modern stuff that we see in comic books. Right? I see a connection there anyway.
It did for a lot of the printing press stuff, right? Even though the printing presses came long before that, there had to be some cross, like, oh man, this kind of reminds me of doing this or doing that, right? But it's the way art is, right? It always influences other movements and so on and so forth.
Yeah, nothing lives in a void. Once it gets traction into the major, the mainstream, I guess, once it gets published.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that is looking good. Boba Fett. Right. That's what I'll be watching tonight. I'll be watching the series as it comes into play here.
I'm waiting for the new Spider-Man movie to be on TV. I want to buy it from iTunes or something like that.
If I get a Spider-Man costume, I can reenact it. Go scene by scene. Man,
a lot of people are really excited about the Spider-Man movie. Sorry?
I said, man, those are some mighty tight spandex.
Yeah, real tight. Yeah. Like, can you imagine having to wear one of those things and film a movie? Like,
that cannot be comfortable.
I got a buddy, and he's one of the dads on the hockey team, and he's a bigger set dude, and he bought a Spidey costume for Halloween and dressed up as Spider-Man. He's like, oh, and he was just showing me pictures and stuff like that. And he's got like the turbo crotch wedge, right? He's like so uncomfortable.
Yeah, how much fun can that be? That elevator scene in the first, I think it's in Spider-Man 2, I think it is, where he's wearing the uniform in the elevator, or is it the first one? And he's like, kind of rides up in the crotch. It itches a little bit too.
Yeah, and the dude's kind of like freaked out. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
getting off here. This isn't my floor, but I'm getting off.
Such a great scene, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new Spider-Man movie. I am, even though I've seen some bits in it that I really didn't like. There were things where I was like, oh man, did you like do that? But I think on the whole, it's still really good.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can get rolling on the inks and other things as well, I could see this book potentially happening. So let's see, we got January, February, March. Yeah, I would probably say we can launch this book probably anywhere from March to, I know I have a book coming out sometime in April, so we got to coordinate it with other books as well. So, and the Fatal Charades is coming to a finale as well. Bob's in the final pages doing his ink work, and that book will be ready to go as well.
This is Bob Little. He's the art teacher and penciler, right?
Yeah, he's basically the artist in the book, and Daryl's the writer as well.
Is he inking it as well?
Yeah, he's doing all the artwork.
And right on.
The artwork that he's producing is really good. Like it's he's been working on this book for over a year now, so he's definitely taken it and repolished it. And so
nice.
He's done a great job.
So you've got 3-4 books, one of them coming out in 3 days.
Yeah.
It's a lot of projects.
Yeah.
So over the next like 4 or 5 months, you're going to have all of these books either done and started as Kickstarters or Indiegogo campaigns or what have you. What are you doing with those?
Yeah, this year in 2022, we're going to probably have anywhere from 6 to 8 books that are going to be released this year.
It's a big year. Wow.
So yeah, it's a definite step from last year. So last year we had 2 books, and those were both the Sasquatch Klondike books, which is completely a different stretch, different genre. But I've always been a fan of like that horror suspense genre. Like I was always a huge fan of like Swamp Thing and things like that. And I wanted to do something about Sasquatch because I'm passionate about Sasquatch, and it's always been part of my MO, right? So yeah, and I also incorporated them into some of the superhero stuff, right? So
for sure, yeah.
Liam's done a cover for us too, Felipe?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Can I show that off, Liam?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
There's another book that's coming out in part of the biological origin story too, and this is the Sasquatch character that's going to be part of this series as well. And we'll make sure that there we go, and it is popping up, and I
see it.
Oh.
And this is Liam's
really
work.
cool.
Sorry, it's like super zoomed in there, Liam.
The scan ended up being pretty good.
What's going on here? Cancel. Why did I don't know why it skipped to the other screen. But definitely not the right dimension for the screen.
That's fine.
But no, it looks pretty wicked. I'm pretty pumped. This story's been written. I have the outline for the story. Have you read the outline for that story?
Me?
Yeah.
I glanced over it, but that was the one written by John.
Yeah, it's been really rehashed, the entire story.
Oh, yeah, got to send me the link so I can look over that.
Yeah, so I have the new outline, and same with the new outline for the continuation of the Sasquatch Klondike, which has been rebranded to the Dawn of Sasquatch.
Sweet.
Yeah, and the new series is going to be called Devil's Ridge.
Don't worry about that comment. We're getting spammed.
You're getting spammed.
Robots, bots of doom.
Keep on getting the Russian spammers, eh?
They're hitting everybody. I see them on everybody's live stream.
Nice.
Yeah, good times. So I'm thinking that Alan commenting on the Boba Fett, that looks awesome. He's like, yeah, I want to ink that. I'm not going to speak for Alan, but I imagine that's kind of what he's thinking.
And if you want, once I'm done, I can send a scan over.
Now you're talking.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So I was thinking for future live streams, it'd be cool to do some character drawings of our different characters, and just have something like maybe penciled ahead of time, and then we can like ink it on the stream.
Sounds good.
Flash back and forth and do some stuff, and then talk about our characters, because I think like you put so much time and effort into Silver Sparrow and these Sasquatch characters and all the mythos and stuff. Look, Alan's saying read my mind. Yeah, so I think that would be a pretty fun thing, where like, because I got this android I've been developing for the last while named Tempo, and I think even the name is kind of a good name. And I'm really having a lot of fun with his look and design, and trying to do something that's not necessarily like referencing other stuff. You can't really get away from influences, but at the same time, you don't want to completely escape other influences either, because if it's completely alien, no one's going to be able to grab onto it. But if they can identify with something about the character and say, oh, that kind of reminds me of this, that's their kind of gateway into your world, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just in terms of character design.
For sure. I've just been going with the flow, and when I design and develop, I take my favorite characters and kind of amalgamate them, and then kind of just throw them in the blender, mix them up a little bit, and then spit them out.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
I find when I'm drawing a robot, I went crazy with the reference. Like I have pages and pages of reference and Pinterest and all these kinds of things. And it's like Star Wars is kind of where it's at. They're all their different kinds of droids. You get into the Star Wars world, you've got the market cornered on robots, right? But then if you draw like that, then you're a Star Wars artist. I don't want to be a Star Wars artist. I want to be my own artist,
Yeah, you're gonna be the Liam Wars artist.
Liverwurst artist. Worcestershire.
Yeah. No, it's good though. Like I've been pulling lots of influences from Kirby for that new book, right? Only because I think it ties into that whole golden age, and it's just something to explore. And then maybe next year I'll explore a different artist, and then explore a different artist, and until I just have this big, huge blocks of different artists and styles that I've explored, and while working them in, right?
Yeah. Hey, Felipe.
Yeah.
What artists are your main influences?
David Finch and James Reyes.
Yeah. Jimmy Reyes, James Reyes. That guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, those are solid modern artists.
Like the page one.
Hunter, I was thinking more of the box office artist. Have you guys seen him?
Oh, the box star or the
box office artist.
Box office artist, yeah.
Yeah.
Is his name Reyes as well?
Reyes, Raiz.
Oh, okay. I don't know that guy. Okay.
I do watch him because he does a lot of the like full scale, like every character. Like I'm gonna draw like all these Marvel characters in like 24 hours, and It's pretty.
Yeah, just that, like most detailed drawings, a lot of mashups.
Mhm. Yeah, he's pretty sweet, Liam. You got to check him out for sure.
James Rays.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got to put that in the chat for me.
I got him in the in one of my. I follow him on YouTube. I can send you a link.
Cool. I've been following new artists like on Instagram, like there's no tomorrow. And now when I'll follow them and then someone will talk about them and I'll go to look and find them. And it's like I'm following like 500 artists. It's like I just get lost now, you know, there's only so many, but there's so much talent out there these days. You know, there's like this like glut of talent. Like you just pick someone. They're everywhere. Shake a stick at them everywhere.
Why does it say I need to subscribe to him? What? I must be subscribed through another channel. All right.
Yeah, that's actually the guy that got me into doing comic art.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
3 years ago.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's roughly around the time that I started to switch over, make up my mind that I wasn't going to be doing fine art, and that I was going to go over into comic book illustration.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's do this one. This is a Liam one here. Pause that one. All right, let's share. Copy. Kind of like moderating our own thing here, eh?
Sure.
There, it's in the chat.
All right. I can't get that link. How do I get that?
Do I show?
Oh, look, I can show it. I just showed it. There you go. Nice. Technology.
And then you can hide it. That's
Cool.
pretty neat. And then you can post all this other. Oh, it posted.
Yeah,
I guess it posts to all the different ones, right? So
I can't access that. I can't get the link to show. Can you show a video, or would we have some copyright issues if we decided to do that?
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But yeah, I guess now we could figure out, we could post comments on this thing.
Yeah, you just double click it and boom, there it is. That's how people do it. See, every time we do a live stream, we learn something new.
That's right.
Kind of technically, right? Got this figured out.
You know, you guys got to watch the new South Park movie, though.
There's a South Park movie?
Yes, the new one.
Yeah.
They're all grown up and they go back to South Park for a reunion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
So
something
they
COVID.
stopped South Park? When did they stop South Park? I didn't even know they stopped it. I thought it was like The Simpsons, going to go on forever.
It probably is, but it's just kind of like a movie, but it's like a 1 hour movie. But no, that is looking pretty good. We got some Dango.
Oh yeah, no, that's another bot.
Oh.
Get rid of that bot.
Dango Fangi.
Nah, it's a bot.
What are these
All
names?
the way.
I think they're all trying to steal your robots.
Yeah, those are really harsh. Like when I looked it up and Googled it, those are all like phishing scams designed to get your information.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gotta love the phishing.
Lovely. Absolutely lovely.
I had somebody try to scam me the other day on Dr. Rock's channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I left him a comment and he was doing a giveaway and the person sent me an email. I can't remember how it went down or whatever, but he sent me send me a private message or something to this email or whatever to claim your prize or whatever.
Oh, good times. Yeah, I get a prize. Oh my gosh. I'm an immature idiot who's gonna Oh my gosh.
Well,
they always appeal to you. We have a free gift.
I went there and I was like, okay, because I thought that like it was, but that's the weird part is because I already know Martin. We communicate with one another, like normally via email and stuff. We haven't actually physically talked on the phone or anything, but we communicate through other messenger systems and stuff. And I'm like, there's something fishy because he's asking me questions that, like, he already knows the answer to these questions, right? And I'm like, oh, it's somebody definitely trying to pull a scam.
Yeah.
Scam.
Alan's saying that he runs into this a lot as well. On Discord too, eh? Of course, Discord is where everyone's hanging out, and Minecraft videos. Yeah, any kind of video thing where there's people, and even on like live streams like ours where there aren't a lot of people, we're still getting spammed. It's like they're just everywhere, but they're just bots, right? So they're algorithms.
Yeah, they're probably just Elon Musk's all trying to scrub people.
I don't think Elon Musk is a bad guy. I like him. I like Elon.
I'm just, or like the Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg, God, that guy needs to get some sun. That's all I'm saying. Like, dude, just step outside for a second and get some sun on that face because he looks like Data.
He's probably not allowed to get sun because somebody's probably going to shoot him.
Oh my gosh, man.
He's probably got like an entourage, and he probably has to wear a Boba Fett helmet just to protect his head.
Yeah. Hey, did you guys see the Elon Musk interview on the Babylon Bee?
No.
Did you see that? Did you hear anything about that? Oh my gosh. So I remember when Elon Musk did the Joe Rogan podcast, I was like, whoa, this is big time now because he's got Elon Musk, right? And so like he's been making the rounds on all these different podcasts and stuff now and different kinds of shows. And then he showed up on the Babylon Bee, which is really kind of niche, like it's a Christian site with a lot of humor and stuff. They crack jokes and it's very satire based. And it's just like, they're super small. They're relatively new. Like you guys haven't heard about it. And yet he was on it and they were like really kind of awestruck. Like they were in the same room with this guy and they're all kind of like, what do we do? We got Elon Musk in an interview. It was awesome. It was so good.
I'm going to hammer him down for our next live stream next week.
There you go, man. Just talk to his publicist and you're
robots good. With Elon Musk.
Yeah. So cool.
Advanced alien tech.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So my nephew got one of these VR. He got an Oculus Rift VR headset. So I played my first virtual reality video game a couple of days ago.
Nice.
You ever tried it?
I can't do that right now.
No, you can't. You can't do it for sure right now. But yeah, have you tried it at all, Felipe?
No, I have not.
I gotta say, it wasn't as bad or disorienting as I thought it would be. Like there was a little bit at first, but you can set it up so that like where you are, and if you move around, it's going to show you where the wall is. And if you step outside the wall, then you see the room that you're in, so you're not like totally blind, right? And yeah, it was like shooting the guns and stuff. Like there was this tutorial that I went through where you're firing guns at things. Man, it was smooth. I got it. Like it was a lot of fun. I don't think I'd want to do it for the whole day. Like an extended period of that would kind of drive you insane. But it was definitely like it worked a lot better than I thought it would. Yeah.
We brought our kids to a place just recently in London, and they had like a whole 3D Oculus set up with different games that were set up in different booths. So they had a good time. They said it was pretty wicked. There was this one where like escape room scenario.
Yeah.
They did like escape room. They thought it was pretty fun and stuff.
Escape rooms are a thing nowadays. Like people do that for dates. They'll go like there's these actual like places. There's rock climbing places, there's gym places, and there's escape places where you go into them just to find your way out. It's a very strange date idea.
I think one of the games that would benefit the most from using a VR platform would be like those kind of like what are those games where you build like communities and farms and all this other stuff in like castles and like you build them up and then fight one another or do whatever.
Oh yeah.
That would be the ideal kind of scenario for a VR, is because you're kind of in control of everybody that's happening in this community, right? So you could have people coming to you, going, and then you could be overwatching your kingdom while it's in a battle.
Like a sim game you're talking about. Yeah.
Like it almost, I know first person shooter and things like that are pretty cool, but things like that overlook or oversee or almost being in an actual role would be pretty neat. Like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
I think the VR thing, I don't know how far it's going to go. Like in movies and stuff, they take it to the point where you can't tell the difference between reality and the simulated thing. They're probably going to do that, but I don't think it's going to be the big deal that they're making it out to be. In the
No,
movies.
it's going to be an implant before that ever goes to any sort of extreme. An implant that'll be firing signals directly into your brain, so you'll be seeing whatever like your brain perceives.
What I can see would be something cool where you don't lose sense of the reality around you. Like you're not caught up in the illusion completely. Where like so you know how like when they make the Mandalorian, the set on the Mandalorian is just LED screens all the way around, right? And so they don't need to do a whole lot of special effects because they just get the computer guys to make a background or whatever, and they put it on the LED screens and bam, instant backgrounds, right? I think that's what you're going to have a gaming room be. It's just going to be this really accessible, cheap, giant LED environment, or LED, but like TV screen environment.
Yeah, which could be very like inexpensive too, because LEDs are like they're not
cheap.
Very expensive to produce at all.
Yeah.
So, and they can be programmed to do pretty much anything.
I think it'd be awesome. I would definitely want to be in a room where you can interact, where a computer screen, is sensing you. You have sensors, so everywhere you move,
the
walls are going to react where you are.
Your holodeck, man.
For sure, man. You have a holodeck, but it's a holodeck. The screen is over there.
Projections of objects and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm down with that. That'd be great. As long as I still have a hold on reality, I'm good. I don't want to get caught up in the illusion.
Oh, it's all right. Liam the Trekkie.
Can you imagine a giant duck hunt, like a 360-degree duck hunt all the way around you? I'm in.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Turning and pointing and shooting.
I was playing the first Doom game the other day with my buddy. The very first Doom. Remember when that came out?
Yes. I was terrified.
Gosh, man.
No, that
was amazing. Oh, and the first James Bond game, the first like the 3D, immersive James Bond and Tomb Raider all around the same time, right?
Yeah, I was terrified of Wolfenstein when I was little. Like I wasn't very old. I might have been 8 or 9 when like the first Wolfenstein came out, and it was pretty gruesome and dark, and my older brother and his buddy are playing it, right? And just the sounds, it was definitely a little edgy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, nowadays I have to watch it because I'll get caught up in Far Cry 5. That's been my crack lately. So I get on that game. I think I spent 6 hours the other day, and it just blinked, gone. 6 hours, gone. Just playing Far Cry 5.
And you managed to shave.
I did, and I didn't smell too bad either at the end of it. Not
He's
too
still
bad.
Sitting on his couch right now in Far Cry.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Sorry, I'm just having fun.
So you're not gaming anymore these days, Chad?
No,
you're like all business, make comics.
Yeah, I figured in order to make more time for my craft or whatever, it would be good if I just focused on art. But
yeah,
all this vision and eye impairment and brain stuff has affected the high flashing, quick moving, multitasking, multifunction aspects of video games.
Right.
Yeah. I'd be good with like Pac-Man or something. I don't know. Something that's not so complex.
I love Pac-Man. Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. I still play those games. They're so good.
Yeah. I can only play Plinko for like 10 minutes.
Right. Right. What about you, Felipe? You a gamer at all?
Kind of. Definitely not as much as I used to be, but I still play like Spider-Man, God of War. Tetris.
I haven't played Spider-Man yet. Like that Spider-Man game looks so good, and I haven't bought it. I haven't played it.
Yeah, they're both really good so far.
Is the Spider-Man game a lot like Watchmen at all? Was it Watchmen I'm referring to, or is it? Anyway, it looked like it had a really good kind of interface.
I remember when the first Spider-Man game came out; it was amazing.
Was that a pun?
Actually,
that was a pun.
Yeah. I'm not really familiar with Watchmen, so I can't really say if Spider-Man's similar to that or not.
Oh, okay. I might be getting the name wrong. It might not be Watchmen, but what it had was you'd be going around in first person, and you would detect what? What are you laughing at? What?
Alan's comment.
Oh, y'all are advanced. I'm still playing on the Xbox 3. Good for you. Good for you, sir.
I'm playing on Genesis, so.
Yeah, I'm a PC guy. Watch Dogs. Thank you, Alan. Watch Dogs. You played Watch Dogs?
Oh, that I've played.
Yeah. So you got like the interface to like you get information on everybody as you go by. You have like Wi-Fi hacks, car hacks, all these kinds of things, right? So it was really high tech. That's the kind of vibe that I got from the Spider-Man thing, where it was like you're like the spider sense, whatever. Like it just reminded me of Watch Dogs.
Yeah,
Would
the
you
spider
agree?
sense. I think loosely, I guess.
But not really, right? So like there's not
Not
a
really.
lot of similarity.
Yeah, not really. Like obviously you like tag people, but the spider sense is more so like essentially the Perry and the Arkham games, except time doesn't really slow down.
Yeah, like Arkham Asylum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that has a really specific kind of fight engine that I really liked. It was so intuitive. You could fight multiple attackers at once, and it just made sense.
Yeah.
Spider-Man like that?
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely more like that than it is Watchmen.
Cool.
Or Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs, thanks. Yeah, you're doing the same thing I did.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Video game act. You never played Arkham Asylum?
I'm familiar, but I have no idea what Watch Dogs is.
Yeah, it was a whole phenomenon when it came out because it was like kind of groundbreaking.
Alan said he's getting all the new Arkham games when new console comes out.
Oh yeah.
Or when he gets a new console. My son got the new Xbox this Christmas. He's a spoiled little kid.
Oh man. So like what's the new Xbox like? Like what's that all about? How good is the engine in that thing?
Just quicker frame rate, and I don't know much about this stuff. I just haven't paid attention to it very much. But he was saying how he needed an extension cord, and in order to play on the screen, like the screen that I gave him.
Oh, like an extended HDMI cable kind of thing?
Yeah. And I was making a joke that, oh yeah, it's Boxing Day and you could probably get a cheap monitor or whatever. So then he starts working my wife over for a monitor. And then he comes back the other day and he's got a 31-inch curved monitor or curved display.
Yeah, man. 120 hertz or 160 hertz? What was it? It's really good.
And he likes to play with his keyboard and his mouse. So
yeah,
he doesn't like the controllers.
Yeah, so Alan is saying the PS5. My buddy has a PS5, and it's a treat. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I still prefer PC though. Yeah, I still prefer PC. PC is amazing.
I do too. Like I used to play a lot of games on PC, and I got kind of addicted to it for a while. When the first Battlefield came out, that's all I was doing was playing Battlefield on the PC, and also some of the older like EA Sports hockey games and stuff.
Yeah,
and not to mention all those little games of, I don't know, world building, castle destroy. Like I had this one Dune game back then too. Dune 2000, I think they called it. And yeah, I had fun with that. Damn sandworms were always eating my spicers.
You know, the thing with a lot of these games where you build stuff in them, like Minecraft, or you get like games that have a building engine where you can build your own world and everything. It just drives me nuts because it's so like here today, gone tomorrow. No one will ever see all the cool stuff that I made in Minecraft. I made mazes. I made an enterprise. You know what I mean?
You
And it's
made
like,
an enterprise.
it's gone. It's gone. Well, I would have loved to. I didn't actually make an enterprise, but I did make awesome mazes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, no, that's gone. It's gone. Never was it made real.
Did one of those weekend binges where I started playing Minecraft, and this is so awesome. I could build this world. And so I started building this world, and my kids were all amazed because I built this giant castle out of a mountain.
Yeah. No, it's very impressive when you go into the world.
And they still
Nice thing is you can actually bring people into it too, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff for sure. Any construction and mine building games like that. I'm surprised they haven't actually come out with more games that are more like that.
Well, people love it for that very reason, but it drives me nuts because you're not actually making anything that's going to exist in the real world unless people can take it and 3D print it out or something like that. I'm sure they do.
They're in some sort of matrix where they're just, they don't know, but they're like kind of like what was that Ender's Game? They don't really
Ender's
know that
Game.
they're actually killing and destroying the alien race.
So good. Even that's a rehashed idea too, though, eh? Like that was first done as the Last Starfighter.
Yep.
Back in the 80s, where he's playing a video game, but the video game is actually a test to be an actual space pilot. It's awesome.
You just gave me another movie that I got to rewatch, The Last Starfighter. Good
Bro, 80s movies.
You know what? Every time we're on these live streams, it always leads back to movies.
No, I love it. I love it. I'm an old movie buff. Like when the movies nowadays drive me nuts, I'll go and put on some like 90s Sylvester Stallone thing or some like kids movie. Last Starfighter, bro. Yeah. Or how about Daryl, data analyzing robot youth life form?
That's another good one. I haven't watched it in a while.
And Explorers. Explorers is the one where they
2 R's and 2 L's or what?
Yeah.
So it's
I
like
even know the acronym.
like Daryl Sawatsky.
No, not that Daryl. This one's a younger Daryl. Robot. He's a robot who can play video games really well.
I got a brother named Daryl too.
You do? I got a friend named Daryl.
Yeah.
Daryl's a good guy. Yeah.
Right.
So this Mandalorian's coming along pretty good here, bro. All right. Sorry,
Yes.
Boba Fett. Why do they look the same? They're not the same character. Mandalorian came before Boba Fett?
They're Mandalores. They're
they're both. Yeah, like they're both like from Mandalore, so they both have very similar armor.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah,
Do they both fly in similar kind of spaceships?
No.
No?
Not really.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Do you guys get into the design of these characters at all? Like the designers, do you follow any of them on social media like Instagram?
I personally do not.
No? So I'm the only one who nerds out about that.
I watched the making of like Boba Fett and the costume and basically how Spielberg or not. No, I'm having a fart here. Lucas. Yeah. One of the big ones. Spielberg's like the more of the alien side of things, but with Lucas, he was talking about how he just basically told his painter to just go at it, just paint because it was like white armor to begin with, right?
Nice.
And he's like, okay, yeah. So he like did it up, and then they're getting this one guy to walk around with the costume on. He's like, yeah, he needs like a cape or something like that. So then there's like a flag or whatever in the garage behind him. So he grabs this flag and he's like, that's it. Because he was a big fan of wanting to create characters that were associated to like sword fighters, kind of like is it a conquistador? Like, or what is
Conquistador, yeah.
Isidore, yeah.
and kind of like having that cape or whatever, and also he was big into like Western like gunfighters and
Yeah.
how he wanted to roll that into some of his characters as well.
Oh, Darth Vader is basically a samurai.
Yeah,
His
Yeah.
whole design is samurai based,
for sure.
which I thought was cool. I didn't see that at first. Then you look at the mask, like the general shape of his mask, the way it comes down, that's full on samurai. The cape and whatever, of course, that's different. That's more conquistador, I suppose.
Yeah, and he just played off a lot of his favorite things and kind of merged them. And not to mention that the helmet is kind of based off of like a Roman style warrior, right?
Really? Roman
Yeah.
style warrior?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
like
so it's
with
like an
that
amalgamation of samurai meets
T-shape.
Roman.
Yeah, the T-shaped helmet, right?
Huh.
Like if you look at it,
Oh, you mean Mandalore?
think of like a what was that elite fighting
The Trojans.
Trojans? Yeah.
Troy. Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's definitely reminiscence of that kind of helmet for sure.
yeah, and then the shield and battle armor and whatever oh man, I'm going through lots of brain farts here. It's expensive any way you do it.
Yeah, Alan was saying he'd love to get a PC, but it's way too expensive to build one. I find it's just a huge hassle myself. Like I still get a store to put it together for me, but I'll buy all the individual parts and then I'll sub out things like the easiest things for me to do. You know, like an extra hard drive or something like that.
Yeah, I keep on getting like what is that? Is that my hair or my glasses? I keep on seeing a tough. Oh, it's my hair. It's
Yep. You have hair.
It's time for a haircut. I was just saying today I got to take my computer in for a little bit of a service call, just because.
Oh yeah, you need it, man.
It's acting like an old man. It needs to go in for a routine check.
Yeah.
Starting to cough and hack and
So Felipe, do you collect comic books at all?
Not really. Like I got a very small comic book collection.
Do you read them online?
And when I can, yeah. But, yeah, I try my best to get some physical copies, but
yeah, I find you know what's weird is I have all these amazing comics from the 90s and I love reading them, but they're hundreds or even thousands of dollars now. So when I take like a McFarlane Spider-Man, one of my favorite ones, and it's not like, oh, I want every time I'm like, no, don't touch it. It's $1,800. What are you doing? So it's like, I'll go to comicsology.com and I'll look at the actual comic there and leave the printed one in the bag, you know, which is just so weird to me because comic books are meant to be read. You know, I want to look at the actual pages.
Yeah, I don't know. I never understood that whole like collection thing.
Yeah, I wish that my comics weren't worth money. I wish they weren't. You know, because then I could actually look at them without feeling guilty.
Yeah.
Comicsology, yeah, I did all the classics. I have all the classics in my collection. You know, like Amazing Fantasy 15, and you know the first Fantastic Four and Amazing Spider-Man, and just the books that you would not otherwise see or read for that matter, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I would love to get my comics out digitally. You know, like people do these webtoons now. You subscribe to a webtoon site, and people will post like one webtoon a day or a week, depending on how fast they do them. So these manga artists are just cranking out the artwork like this, right? Constantly. So they dominate the world and that. But there's a few of them that that do like really in-depth work that only post like once every month or something like that. And there's a couple of guys that are really good doing these like webtoons, and I imagine they would print them later on as like a graphic novel. But there's like comic books, they're not just printed. They're like, there's all kinds of different ways to get them out there. Even NFTs, you can do a comic book as an NFT, which is totally weird.
Yeah. Well, I would rather do and sell NFT versions of the comic books than actual PDFs, like giving PDF versions out, because the PDF, you can replicate it like as many times as you want. You can print it, you can do whatever, right?
Yeah, and NFT is locked in.
Yeah, so if you're going to sell like 100 copies over a Kickstarter, like it would make sense to release like an NFT version of a rare variant as a stretch goal or a reward.
Yeah,
coming off my tongue.
I ended up buying a PDF graphic novel of Slain the Horned God, which was put out in, I think, the 80s by 2001, which is a UK based comic maker, underground indie comics. Have you ever heard of Slain or 2001?
No,
I have not.
Oh my gosh, man. No, these guys are insane. Like, really good stuff. I'm looking it up. Maybe I'll show it to you. The only thing is there's some like R-rated stuff in there. So
if we combine the creative team that we've constructed already, man, we could release some pretty amazing books.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah. For sure.
We're just working through the growing pains right now, working out the kinks, and and same with plots and stories, and just trying to get a rhythm with stuff. And I think as the books start to come out, as everybody starts to get their footing, it's going to be a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got some pretty amazing like comic stuff reference to show you if you want to see any of it.
Is Alan still there? Are you still here, Alan?
He is. He's chiming in from time to time there.
Did you I just want to ask Alan if he received his package.
He'll maybe he'll see it, maybe he won't. We'll see.
My neck is tight.
I got stuff here. Oh yeah, there we go.
I like the way you render. You have a very distinct rendering style as well.
Thanks. Yeah, it's just kind of a mix of things I've done and things I've discovered while I failed at trying to replicate things. But hey, sometimes that's where you find your style. So
absolutely. It's hard to keep up with David Finch during his live stream drawings too.
Oh yeah, and I hopefully one day I can just put myself on like ×10 speed like he does.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he usually when I watch his videos, if I decide to do a drawing with him, it's like I slow it down in YouTube, and it's like and he's drawing at regular speed.
I'm so inspired by that impersonation right now.
Yeah. And then you get Meredith in the background.
Oh, Meredith's hilarious. Here, let me show you this. I'm gonna do a little screen share here and get this up.
Oh, the Matrix.
Where is it? Where is my PDF gone? Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is Slain the Horn God. This is Simon Bisley, my art hero. This guy, he is a beast. He is a beast. So this is the cover, and he does all the colors himself.
You've shown me this, haven't you?
Probably. So I bought this off of 2001 AD, and they sent me the PDF, which is pretty cool. And these are like some of Simon Bisley's first pages. Actually, no, he did This was his second comic, as far as I know. He did ABC Warriors before this, and then this was his like second.
So did he do full blown paintings for each one of these panels, or were these?
Yeah, these are all just him painting. This is all him. He's a maniac, and he did this really fast apparently too. Like he works incredibly fast.
It's bananas, like how good it is.
Like off the chart, crazy good. Like look at the muscle tone on this Slain here. Slain is. Sorry, go ahead.
I like the way he uses the cools and warmth to push and pull in that traditional painting style where you know that he's texturing and coloring the background, and then he's modeling out the highlights from his colored background, right?
Yeah. And like I say, he works really, really fast from large to small. And he does a lot of his sketching, from what I've seen, like he just experiments, but he'll do a lot of his sketching with a Sharpie. Nice. So a lot of these drawings start with a Sharpie, and then he's using spray paint, and then he's using acrylic and some ink or different kinds of things. It's like very multimedia.
There was a dude I went to school with, illustration, and he worked the exact same way. He worked Sharpie, and then he would spray paint over it. Then he would pull like highlights from it, and his work had that same quality of depth, and how everything is almost like has like a halo effect, right? Where it's basically separated from the background and becomes very very graphic looking, right?
Yeah.
And then Scumbles, you understand the
I love Scumbling. Oh, Scumbling's the best.
He just scumbles the shit out of some of the areas, right?
Yeah. Like check out some of these panels, these faces. He uses a lot of pencil crayon. So a lot of this is pencil crayon. I think the majority of it is. And he'll use spattering with a toothbrush for some of the other things, but most of the time it's just pencil crayon. Like I remember being mesmerized by his faces and expressions. Yeah, he could do that.
Got an extremely illustrative approach, right? Where he's cross bridging everything, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing that doesn't stop him. If he wants to use pencil crayons, he's going to use pencil crayons. If he wants to use acrylic, he's going to use acrylic, right?
He's a total punk rocker. He does not care what people think. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
And that's the illustrative way, right? To push the foundations of your medium and your media, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I love that in some of these cases, he would just leave a pencil drawing. Like that's a really light pencil crayon drawing. Like that's barely even rendered, right? But there's a couple of drawings where he wouldn't even color them in. He just leave a loose pencil drawing in a panel. Like these are watercolored over or something, really like loose acrylic.
Nice. That's why I want to start doing more digital painting, because I really do think I am more of a painter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there it is. There's my favorite drawing of the whole thing. And it's just a pencil drawing. Nice. Look at that page. Like, if I did a page like that, I'm happy with my art career. We're done. We're good. I don't need to go anywhere from there.
I did pages like that in my 20s, and now I got to get them back.
It's ridiculous. Like, look at this face. Look how like loose and fun and Art Nouveau that is, eh? Anyway, there you go. There's our
trip. Did Alan come into the live stream? I just heard a whole bunch of birds. No, like how
I think that was scraping. I think that was paper on something, wasn't it?
Nice.
If Alan comes on, there's going to be birds. There's going to be birds and sheep.
Yeah. It became like this wildlife sanctuary when Alan was on. Like there was like harps playing and angels singing and birds chirping.
It was awesome. Just a young kid too.
Oh, for sure. There's a whole bunch of young
kids. Only 16, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bananas, like how good he's gotten with inking in such a short period of time. It's amazing. It's so amazing to see, right?
Yeah.
Like even Gabe, like Esquivo, he only really started drawing a couple years ago, like 2.5 years ago. Like he was like a theater geek, and he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna start drawing. He started drawing like 2 years ago, and now the stuff he's turning out is like crazy, like crazy good.
Yeah, I mean, when you're young, you know, you learn things really good. When you're older like me, to have your brain work like that, a whole bunch of things have to be lined up right. You know, you have to dedicate the time to it. You know, not be so worried about the wifey, maybe, I don't know, or like taking vitamins, working out.
Well, you definitely have to have a reduced amount of stress in your life in order to take in, and I think in order to learn something, you have to be fully engaged and fully involved and fully passionate and just in love with what you're doing, right?
Yeah, you have to be disciplined on it too. Like it's the same thing when you like get into something like jujitsu or working out. You know, you're not going to make any progress unless you're doing it consistently and you make it a priority.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just not possible. You know, if you're in a bad situation financially, for instance, how are you going to do that?
Yeah.
You know?
But definitely,
I mean,
like
some people still do it. Not to say that it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, for sure. This was all my whole journey. All started basically from an accident, and the only thing I was really able to do was to draw. So that's what I did. I focused on drawing and re-stimulated that passion, and just started, because before all this journey began, and that like I wasn't in love with drawing anymore, like, and I think it was due to like that resentment I had against drawing, because I wanted to do it so bad, but no matter how hard I tried to focus and try to do it, it just never seemed to open up the right avenues. And I just went for it this time.
It's a really, really tough career. Like the people who succeed in becoming artists, they're enviable. Like very much so, and if the ones who are humble and honest will say, like, I'm very fortunate to be doing, to be able to draw superheroes for a living or what have you, or to be able to draw for a living. Like, I'm very grateful. Like, that's the right attitude, because there are so many people that are trying really hard, and for whatever reason, maybe it's their fault, maybe it's not, but it's just an extremely difficult career path. I found it to be anyway.
Well, for sure. Especially when I was younger, and the skills were there. Like I was fresh out of college, I could paint and draw pretty much anything I needed to, right? So I had that sense of, naiveness and wanting to take on the world. And then, the world took me on.
Yeah, for sure.
Chewed me up, spit me out, and left me a different person. So
I have sketchbooks upon sketchbooks. I continued drawing for like my whole life, constantly drawing and painting, with only about 2 years out. And that was when I went full time into driving bus, where I was just driving all the time and was too tired. And as soon as that calmed down, right back to doing art again. It's like, I can't help it, And It's like sometimes it's just like I'm fueled by anger and resentment. That's had to happen too, right? Where it's like, you're not going to stop me from doing this. No one's going to stop me from doing this. This is a priority, And sometimes like that's been like a hard line that I've drawn in the sand, more than once.
Yeah. Well, and I released a children's book right before the accident and things started but I was definitely starting to lean in that direction. And that's when that whole biological storyline started to really unravel. Like I was building it, things were gaining momentum. Like I could already feel the momentum starting to build prior to all that happening.
Yeah.
And then it stopped, and then I'm just carrying the momentum and keep on going with it, right? Because now I'm at a point where I have enough momentum to make this like 2022 could be an extremely prolific year. So I'm looking forward.
Man. Well, you're setting it up to be, and so am I. It's like 2022, yeah, it's going to be going to be a big year for both of us.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff that's been set up, lined up, you know.
For sure. And I think we're going to find some great success with Silver Sparrow, Felipe and Alan. And as people start to see these storylines coming out, and hopefully we can get some other creative teams involved as well. Like, that's the point too, is to try to get some more independent artists involved with Tardigrade Press as well, releasing their own products, releasing their own lines, launching their own books as well. And it's all going to be part of building that community and growing that community as well, right?
So here's something that is kind of geeky. All right, it might be from outer space to some people, but what you're talking about starting up your own character and creating your own thing. It's like, that's not just drawing. You're like getting into writing, right?
Yeah.
So there, like, if you draw really well, but you haven't learned how to write, then you're drawing, but you're basically drawing other people's creations for the most part, right? Now, once you start coming up with your own character and your own ideas, now you're writing. Now you're doing something that's expressive, right? So that's like the difference between being a technician and being a creative, I think, right?
Yeah.
Between being a designer and being a writer. What do you think?
I think it can be in many ways, because a lot of the characters that I've created, there's been environments and storylines that are constructed and built, even though I haven't written a single word on a piece of paper with or to correlate with some of the drawings I've done. There's still a story that's already been developed because it's already been developed in my brain, right? Like, they live on this planet, this is what they do. And a lot of these stories, all this stuff has been explained to a lot of the writers that I've worked with. Like, we've had many times where we've sat down, talked about, what's happening, basically a whole outline of what's happening. Although I do understand, the writing's bringing a lot of the nuances of the character development and the stories, the plot lines, tying everything together, right? So for sure, like, if you could have both, you're definitely the full package, right? So, which is great.
Yeah. How cool would it be to, get onto a major comic like Spider-Man or Daredevil or Superman or something like that, Justice League? I don't know, what do they call it nowadays? Super Friends, Justice League, like the DC universe, right? Like, if you were drawing someone else's IP and being able to do it as a living, and you're gonna do like a comic a month or however much they do it, it's like you're becoming like really, really good at that specific thing, drawing. And a lot of those artists eventually become writers too. Like Frank Miller did that, started out as an artist and then became a writer afterwards. Todd McFarlane, same thing, but he had to really work to become a writer too. Like, it took him a long time. The way I see it, like for me personally, writing has always been right up there with art. Like, it's been like a race, which progresses more than the other. Like, I always wanted to do my own stories, and I hate having someone else call the shots on me, man. I don't like it.
I don't like it. I've always been a creative writer, like for stories and other things like that. Like, I've never had issues like creating stories and writing outlines and building stories that way. And same with, like, I ripped out 2 or 3 scripts in just a matter of days, right? For those, like, I was telling you about the one Sasquatch story that I had rewrote. I like hashed it out, or maybe it was Daryl I was saying this to, but I hashed it out in like 2.5 hours and wrote the whole story and all the dialogue from front to back in 2.5 hours. So, wow. And it has a good flow. It has, like, I have no issues with writing stuff. And I'm very, like, when I'm working with a writer, I'm very clear as to the direction that things need to go, especially if it's something that that I'm passionate about, something that I kind of developed over time and have had in my brain, basically like spilling out all the the ins and outs of stuff, right? Even though I'm still, a lot of things may be in working contrast. Like even Star Wars was the same way with Lucas, right? Like he spilled it out, but there was constant changes and constant development and constant, navigation through the whole process. And
Well, there's like when it comes to writing is a craft, like in a lot of the same ways that drawing is a craft, right?
Yeah.
So it's like in writing, you have your first draft, which is basically you've just like splurged all over the page, like you just thrown up everything that you ate, right, onto the page, and it's like just pure creativity, just everything's raw. And then you go, as you move into second draft, you start to refine that and figure out what is this really about, what is it not about, what's the story arc, and you start to really refine your idea. And so the second draft is a huge deal because you're starting to edit, right, and you're becoming an editor. I think a lot of the times it really helps if you collaborate with an editor on that too, someone who's got something behind them. So that's where I'm at with mine. It's like draft 2 is like really hard.
like basically that whole spattering out of ideas and creativity, that's like my first, like, to the creative team, the writers and stuff. I'm like, okay, this is what it is. Bleh. Right.
Yeah.
And then they take it, put it together, and then like we've worked together to kind of create story arcs, and then keep the characters within the certain guidelines of where I pictured them to be and who I pictured them to be as well, right? So
nice.
But it's been good. I've given them a lot of flexibility in how things have been ironed out as well, and which is what you need, right? You can't trap them in too bad. But some stories don't go in the right direction. We've had writers come and writers go, but also people that haven't been willing to compromise, right? So, and compromise is a big thing, right?
You have to be able to collaborate. You have to learn how to play well with others.
Play well with others. For sure. Yeah, and it's a give and take relationship, right? And it creates a lot of dynamic, and when you're working with different people, you have a lot of dynamics going on, right? So
artists are, we're a messy breed, very, very messy. We have like temperaments, egos. We got like we're like pug dogs. We got 2 layers of fur, and everyone around us is allergic.
That's right. Good thing I'm hairless. Now it's all fun though. You definitely have learned a lot of different things in the first year of business, and being with a business partner, and then taking it off on my own, and yeah, there's been definitely growing pains, and
for sure, yeah,
part of the game.
I found out. I started looking into getting editors, right? So I found editors. I used Fiverr, and ever since I went onto Fiverr, I have the stupid ads coming up on my YouTube channel like several times a day, and I hate Fiverr now. But I actually like really got a lot out of getting involved with a couple of editors. Went onto their sites, checked out some stuff. So it helped me get into second draft. There were all these questions that you would be asked if you approached this editor. And one of those things was like, what does this character know and what do they don't know? And what do they find out at the end? And what's their hero's journey? And, where are they from and where are they going? And it was all these kinds of like things that all of a sudden it's like, okay, if I don't answer this, then that's going to be a big gap in my story. So I started I took the time to answer all of these crazy questions from this editor, and it ended up making a really big world building thing that I'm looking at it now going, I can drive all kinds of plot lines from this information. Like this can just become a series that moves in any direction that I want it to. And these characters are really developing a life of their own.
Yeah, that's great. For sure.
Editors, baby. Editors.
Yeah. My wife is probably going to be the editor.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That could also be really bad though. It could be really bad or it could be really great.
Yeah, she's just got to commit the time to it and sit down, but she can be extremely prolific and good at what she does, and she's just really good at the English language.
Right on. Yeah.
Me, I don't know. I can just get my ideas out there, but when it comes to grammar and things like that, I need a little bit of polishing, you know?
Yeah, I think grammar, take it or leave it. I mean, some people get irked by it, but I'm much more like concerned with substance of what you're writing.
For sure. It's the best to get it out there. And I'm pretty good at breaking things down, like in how I structure things for like arcs and direction of story and stuff. Like I think I learned a lot of that through like the creative process, because creative writing was still even a big process in art school, right? Because they wanted us to take English. They wanted us.
I think that all artists, like in my opinion, all artists are writers.
Yeah.
You need to have those writing chops. So to be a good writer, you have to understand it. You have to understand what good writing is, first of all. And if you don't understand that, or if you don't appreciate good writers or do any reading, it's like that's going to limit you in what you do. But that's not to say that you can't be a great artist without that. It just means that you're going to want to draw someone else's material if you're a comic book artist, which means that you're probably going to get really good at your craft. So it's not like you have to be a writer to be a good artist, right? It actually could be detrimental to your writing ability if you spend so much more time writing than you do drawing.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to develop and build both strengths, along with my strength of, drawing and painting and inking and penciling and doing lettering and coloring and
see, like I heard a guy, I was talking with a mentor of mine. I have a mentor, and he was telling me that to run a business, it doesn't take talent. You to be a successful business person doesn't take talent at all. Doesn't matter if you're an artist or a speaker or whatever. It's like, it really, what it is something different than talent, which is kind of weird. So, the way you're doing it, it's obvious. Like you're actually producing things. Whether you're a great letterer or not doesn't really matter, as long as you're getting it done, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing though, right? Like you can't have a product to sell if you don't have a product to sell.
Yeah. Like, can you get it done? Like, I heard this thing is like, I'm an idea person. I have ideas. It's like, whoop-de-doo, you have an idea. Can you actually accomplish it? Can you get it out there? Can you market it?
Oh yeah. I'm good at the marketing aspect of things when I'm out there in the beat. Like, I like to be in the sales aspect, that point of sale, meeting with people, communicating.
Yeah.
Let
me change this, like, because I see your artwork up here. Let's compare. So we have Felipe's Boba Fett, and then we have your drawing from, I think, yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, it's got like the Boba Fett that I was going to draw, but I've just been busy kind of. So it's supposed to be this here. The Mandalorian.
That's like a value study, eh? It's a good one.
Yeah. So this is just for digital painting. And this is part of Bobby Chu or Bobby Choi digital.
Not to be confused with David Cho, not David Cho.
No, not the same dude. But he's a graduate of Sheridan College. He's won an Oscar for work that he did on different films. Like he's a well-accomplished artist for concept. And this is his painting course that I'm taking. And we're supposed to paint the same study 7 times. So this is the second time I've done this study. You can see the first time I did the study. Let's turn that off.
It's all in one doc. Smart.
What's that?
It's all in one document.
Oh, yeah.
Smart. Very smart.
Not in the... All right. So there's study 1 and study 2. So you can see the difference between how the studies changed from the first time. And this is like learning a great piece of music or doing anything. The more you do it, the quicker you're going to get at it. You're going to pick out more of the nuances of or the mistakes that you made in your first one compared to your second one. That's really going to help you focus on values, focus on negative, positive space, and so on and so forth. So this is my learning.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, that's how it's done.
Yeah, and the next step after this is to add color to the grayscale. So basically what you're going to be doing is probably going to like the background and switching it to a white background and then adding color to it. Like, look at how much that changed when you pull the gray tones out of there, right?
Oh, huge. Well, you were drawing based on the gray tones, right?
Yeah. So, and then, yeah, just adding color and how he adds color to his drawings and what he does to, just make them pop.
Would you flat that first? Use this as a multiply layer, flat it, and then go in and color it comic booky?
I think he was using like a color overlay for the way that he does color.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, like working within the values. What's that called? The color. It's not an overlay. It's a. There's a name for that in Photoshop. Where you're basically dividing up the different values into different colors. So it's like that's the starting point for all the colors, right? It's where they sit in value.
Yeah, and he's just basically coming over and laying in a. I can't remember. I just kind of scrubbed ahead to his next.
Is he calling it a color overlay? Is that the actual term?
I think it is. He uses. I think it is either color burn or overlay.
Really? Oh, yeah. Wow. Huh.
But I'll let you know as I keep on developing.
Yeah, that sounds like a really cool way to go about it.
Because I would like to do some covers, and I'd also like to do some interior work that's more painterly as well. Like say on like a splash page or a page that is a spread, like just go right out on it, make it look super wicked, and then kind of like how Ren and Stimpy used to be, and then they'd go in for the close-up zoom and it would be like super polished and really like
dude did you see how SpongeBob took that same vibe? Like they totally ripped that off of Ren and Stimpy, eh?
Yeah, like that same kind of feel.
Yeah.
Where you can use your main pillars of your story that have the most detail or may have more painting or more painterly effects, and then it kind of fades back to whatever, and kind of almost build it like it definitely would be like storytelling and using color and storytelling, but just using more style, or more refined style. So my brain's already thinking. It's been thinking about this for a little while. So
nice.
Almost like the Bisley there, how it's all like some panels are really well painted and other panels are just really just kind of sketched in, right?
And it's so exciting to look at, man. It's great. And even though it's inconsistent, it doesn't matter. It's like it's still telling you, just get caught up in the art. Like I don't even care about the story. I just want to see the next awesome drawing.
Yeah. And that's the same kind of way I want to transition into some of the newer stuff that I would like to do, right? Like even dampen out the line work and then just work in the value, right? Like say take something like Felipe has there, right? And then just go in with a value study on it, right? Bringing in some strongs, but then bringing out be interesting stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to play with it. You're playing with the color dabbies and the little. I noticed that right away.
I'm just having fun. Woo! Yay! Do. I don't know about the red. I was actually going for white.
I put it black. I made it like black to gray. I'm like,
yeah. How's this? Is this good?
Well, we've almost been on here for 2 hours, man.
We've done good. We've done good. Success. Another live stream.
Felipe?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
How are you making out?
I'm good. I'm actually gonna have to leave in a few minutes, but
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, I was hoping to
Sounds
have this
about right.
done by the end of the stream, but still kind of slow. So
Yeah,
Well,
you're pretty close though, man.
no,
yeah,
you're right on par, and Alan's waiting for the finished product so he can ink it up, man.
Correct.
yeah. No, Alan, I'll finish it tonight and reach out tomorrow about sending it over.
That's
So,
wicked.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the coming months here as things lead up to the Kickstarter and we get the Silver Sparrow out into people's hands.
Yeah, that's gonna
Yeah.
be really exciting.
Yeah,
So that's going to be on Kickstarter, Tardigrade Press.
it will be. Yeah.
Nice.
So there's going to be a few titles that are going to be released over the next few months. So yeah, it'll be really awesome. I don't know.
So cool.
I don't know where my inker is though.
He's around. He's 16.
Yeah.
He's probably in bed by now.
Yeah, he's just sitting there, listening to the birds, having, a couple sips of tea and just chilling out. Now he's probably drawing. How can you not just be drawing when you're watching a drawing stream? So
It's the best. It's so inspiring. Yeah, a
It
bunch
is.
of dudes talking about art.
absolutely. I didn't do any painting tonight just because I needed to focus on one or the other. Or
I just wanted to talk. It's good for me.
I would have been totally silent. I wouldn't have. I just would have seen my head like down the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
You know-
I'm itching to do some drawing. Like I have an overhead camera that I can just swing over and I can change my camera from me to like the piece of paper. So we could have like two Felipes, two Felipe
Yeah.
views. We'll do that at one point, but I think I'm a much better host when I'm just talking.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. You're definitely you have a stronger quarterback ability than I do for quarterbacking
Dude,
the hosting.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been working at these videos for about 2 years, a year and a bit, 2 years. So I'm on video number like 35 or something now, and I'm on a goal to make 100 videos. By the time I hit 100 videos, I figure I'm going to have some kind of skill set for making videos built up. So
Nice.
that's yeah.
180.
I was hoping to have 100 videos done last year, but work wouldn't let me do that. So
Yeah, I think
we'll get there.
YouTube. I think I'm in the 30s as well, but a lot of it was time lapse overlay kind of stuff. But most of the live stream talking and hosting stuff has been done with you in like correspondence, kind of almost like dual hosting and dual talking, right? So
It's the best, man. That's really good. Like for what you just get used to having a camera in front of you and trying not to act like a complete boob, Good.
that's really tough, man. So,
That's good though. It's good.
that's just
Yeah.
my
Speaking
thing.
of which, Felipe, thank you so much for coming on the live stream, man. I hope it wasn't too painful for you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
thanks for having me. Yeah, sorry I wasn't too talkative. I'm just one, I was focusing, two, I'm just naturally really quiet and kind of honestly a bit nervous to be on here. So yeah.
Oh, of course. Like it is nerve wracking. And the nice thing is you got two geeks just like willing to take up all the space talking, so we can just look at your drawing, which is a great
you're
one.
doing what you're doing, and people, like, if they're listening to us, they're probably more than likely just watching you draw anyways, right? So
Yeah. And I really appreciate it. I've heard that a lot of people want to be on live streams. I haven't found that to be the case. Everyone I ask, and I've asked quite a few, they're like, oh yeah, and then they never really go to it, or it's like, no, I don't want to be on a live stream at all. And I'm like, I get it. It's scary.
Yeah,
You're on the internet and it's permanent, right?
Yeah, it is something I do want to do more of in the future, but again, it's just a matter of getting myself to actually do it.
Yeah,
we're here,
congratulations, man.
Yeah.
You made it. You made it through 2 hours of a geeky, nerdy art podcast live stream.
yes, thank you. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
And we'll connect soon. Even if you want to just draw and not be live stream, if you just want to draw in the studio with Liam and I, we're always around. And that offer even goes to you, Alan. We're always around drawing and doodling and doing stuff. So it's always a great way to connect with other people, just to be creative.
Oh,
Yeah, for
Alan
sure.
says he was doing that Violator piece that he was working on last time. You still
Nice.
haven't finished that? Alan, come on, man.
You're violating the piece. Nice.
Well, we got to see it when it's done. That'll be a lot of fun.
We got to get Bob Little on the stream, and we also got a couple other
Daryl.
people in the
Got to get Daryl Swatsky.
Daryl.
Yeah. I got a couple of guys I've been connecting with slowly but surely, trying to make that connection, make it happen. Bunch of artists and creatives.
Yeah, I'm sure I could dig a few people out of the I know David Finch he's raring to go. He's ready to go on our live stream.
Oh, for sure. He'd be like, "Yeah, I can't wait to be with those guys. They're so famous."
Yeah,
huge
we can
followings.
call 3 bald men and a pencil. I'll just get a bald cap. I'll just put it on.
he comes on the live stream, right? And it's like, boy, David Finch, you must sure be like, you must feel very privileged to be on this podcast.
Yeah, sure. Now you're being a smart ass.
Yeah. Too big for my britches. Yeah, man.
He got some games for Xmas and put his drawing aside. Oh, he turned into.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Hey, I got to find out what games Alan is playing, because if it's anything like my obsession for Far Cry 5, it's a hard draw to get any artwork done.
Oh, we got a second viewer that popped in, a mystery viewer.
Oh, they come and go, man. We were at 3, then 2, then 1, then 2 and 3. But it's like, man, how many times have we done live streams with no one? It's like, that's cool. So maybe 6 months from now, we'll have like 10 viewers. Who knows?
I think one of the very first live streams we ever did, we had like 12 viewers.
12?
Yes,
no way.
At one point. Huh. And then it just tapered out. And
that was on your Facebook, right? That was your Facebook?
I think so.
Yeah. They'd be like, what is this? He's doing a live stream? Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh.
Well, this is nerdy. I thought we were going to get some skin or something on this one.
That's right.
Like, who knows what people go onto Facebook for, Like, from what I can see, is just to post memes and see who is having kids and who's not, I don't know. I don't like Facebook at all.
I had a kid at Christmas right here. It was hard to push out the ears.
I got this hat. My daughter gave me this hat, and like one of those like cozy like neck scarves, things that wrap around your neck. That was great. And I got a set of brushes, really nice set of brushes.
There we go. And we'll like the Mandalorian bobblehead.
There you go. I got an evil Spock bobblehead.
Nice. So I got all the toys. I even got
Alan says he got games Injustice, which I don't know, and FIFA 19. FIFA 19's got to be great.
Yeah, I even got one of these guys around.
Love that guy. It's awesome.
Chewbacca.
It's good times.
What a Wookiee.
Waka, waka, waka.
Yeah, you go somewhere, Chewie.
All right, guys, we're going to call it a night here.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Felipe. And thanks Alan, for stopping by.
Thanks a bunch, Felipe. And is there any, do you have any presences you want to direct people to? Instagram, YouTube? What do you got?
I got, my Instagram is Aguirre Illustrations. It's my last name, .illustration. YouTube, I don't really have anything at the moment, but we'll see if I decide to try that up again.
I put that in the description.
Yeah, definitely put that in. So we'll pop that in afterwards.
I put it in the description.
Sure.
Oh, you did? Perfect. You're the man.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, guys. Yeah, man.
Good. Thanks. I really appreciate it, guys. This has been an awesome one, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Super enjoyable. Yeah.
For sure.
All right, guys. Good night.
Bye.
Ciao,
Bye.
ciao.